guys, it's Heather. I know you're thinking this is going to be a video about my weight loss, but it's not. It's a very different video because it's a story that I absolutely have to share. I've wrestled with this for a long time. I actually shot my first try, I guess, first rough draft of this video last night, which oddly enough happened at approximately, I learned this morning, the same time that Melania Trump was addressing the RNC, and she had a similar message to parents, and I felt like that's a sign. Like I have to say this. I really do. So here's what you need to know about me. I'm a mom. I have an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old. My husband and I have been very purposeful and very deliberate in teaching our children from the youngest possible age that every person deserves love and respect, whether or not you agree with them or not, whether or not you think it's weird or not. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. I remember once watching Toddlers and Tiaras with my kids because my daughter was at one point completely obsessed with being a beauty queen. So we're watching this, and it was being judged by drag queens, and I thought, I wonder if my kids are going to notice this. I'm not going to say anything because, it was a great show. Sue me for my guilty pleasure. But my son, and it was almost, if not more than halfway over, my son said, "Are those guys?" And I said, "Yes, they are." And he says, why are they dressed as women? And I said, well, that's what they enjoy doing, and that's how they feel comfortable. And he said, that's weird. And I said, well, it might be weird to you, but it's who they are. And God told us that we need to love people regardless of what they do. And he said, okay, I still think it's weird. And I said, that's fine. But if you meet someone like that in the street, you're not going to treat them any differently than anyone else that you would meet, because God loves them all the same, and that's what he taught us to do. Another incident, well, not an incident, but I guess another story to kind of relate to that was he was in preschool and came home and said, oh, I love this girl. She's so beautiful. Her skin is beautiful. And I said, what makes you think her skin is beautiful? Who is she? And she said, oh, her skin is just this beautiful brown. It's so beautiful. And I said, well, she's from India, and that's the color of their skin. And it is beautiful. It's absolutely wonderful. And kind of that was it with him. I just want to be really clear that we have made it a mission in our life, my husband and I, to teach our children to be not just tolerant, but accepting and loving of every race, credence, sexual orientation. It doesn't matter. We've not made them watch videos about things, but when they ask, when we're in those teachable moments, we have absolutely made it a priority to, explain whatever's happening and to reiterate under no certain circumstance that it's our job to love these people, whomever, whatever you agree with, whatever you think is weird, it doesn't matter. A couple of great books that we have read. One of my favorites is We Came to America by Faith Ringgold. Read to our kids. Hair Love by Matthew Cherry. An amazing poem that I had the opportunity to watch on TV, but not live, but would have been great, by Grace Byers, called I Am Enough. There are so many different books that you can read to your children as they're growing and as they're in these developing years that really will make a difference. And so I say all of that to say this. A little over a week ago, my friend invited my daughter down to see her, and she lives about 6 hours away in a little different state than we do. And she said, well, she can stay for the week, and then you guys can come down for the weekend and kind of have a family vacation, if you will, for a day, because Corona, we can't do anything. So we weren't able to take our any type of vacation with our kids this year. So we thought, okay, well, that'll be great. And on day 4, she FaceTime videoed us, and she was hysterical, crying, "Mom, come and get me. My life doesn't matter. I was a mistake. I reshot this because I got too emotional yesterday, but I guess it's just gonna happen. And I said earlier now, she's 8 years old, and she called me crying hysterical. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Tears, just, her face was wet. I'm a mistake. I should never have been born. I shouldn't be living. So any of you who are parents know that I took a shower, packed my car, gassed up my car within 10 minutes. I was ready to go get her. So I drive down 6 hours, and I asked my friends, hey, can I stay? Because I'm old. And I can't drive 6 hours one day and 6 hours back because I'm old. And so I said, you know what, let me take the kids out for something fun. You know, you guys are both working, and let me take them out for something fun, and then we'll leave the following morning. And on the way back, we had gone to a indoor trampoline park. And on the way back, I heard the two girls, my daughter and her friend, both 8, talking about protest signs that they were going to make. And I thought, oh, political activism, I love this. You know, whatever it is, I'm interested. I want to know. So I said, hey, what what signs are you talking about? Well, you know, what's going on? And they said, well, we're going to make a sign for Black Lives Matter, and we're going to march with them. And I was like, okay, well, what does Black Lives Matter stand for? And what's, you know, kind of parenting questions, you know, kind of like where's this coming from, and what's the deal behind it? And they said to me, well, white lives really don't matter. We did some horrible things to Black people, and so we're all mistakes, and so we don't want to be racist, so we're going to make a Black Lives Matter sign, and we're going to protest in the neighborhood. And as a parent, I just thought, you know, those moments where you're like trying to be straight-faced, but you're like, holy crap, like, where did this come from? And so I'm trying to be cool, and I was, you know, asking some probing questions, but not too much that it would turn them off to talking to me. And through the course of the conversation, I learned that one of the families that my friends are friends with, and I know they're good people, and I want to be very clear about that. I know they're a good family. They're a Black American family, and I know they're good people. But the girl that they were spending time with, their older brother, who's about, I would say, between 10 and 12 years old, told our 2 little girls that white lives don't matter, that they were a mistake to be born, and that only Black lives matter. And this caused my daughter to question whether or not she should be alive because of the color of her skin. And she's 8. Suicide's a shit thing. But when an 8-year-old is considering whether or not their life is worth living, you gotta stop and say, what the heck? So I probed further, and I found out that the older brother said this, and the younger girl tattled on him. Thank God, good girl. And the mother made the boy apologize. But I want to be very clear in that I knew from the beginning that my friend would not be friends with someone who would teach their child this. But the damage was already done. The damage has been done. And so I share this story because I want to implore all of us as parents, I'm sorry, under no circumstance can I get through this without emotion. Our kids are learning from us, whether we mean them to or not. And the best I can think, and I'm sure this is what happened, is that young boy heard a portion of something that he didn't understand and tried to fill in the blanks with what he knew to be true based on his experience, which is 10 to 12 years old, not much, right? Not much world experience. He hasn't bought a car, like he's a young kid. And so he filled in the blanks with that. And I'm grateful for that parent for recognizing it was a mistake. But again, the damage has already been done. My daughter spent however many days thinking that her life wasn't worth living because of the color of her skin. And you guys, I just implore you to talk to your children. All of the stuff that's happening in the world is hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about with another completely rational adult. Obviously, it's hard to talk about with children, but they are learning from us. Whether we mean them to or not, we need to talk to them about what these things mean. We need to put things into context for them so that they fully understand. Because when an 8-year-old reaches out and says, I probably shouldn't be here, I'm a mistake, I shouldn't be alive, we need to stand and take note of that and say, what have we done? What can we do? For any girl, boy, it doesn't matter, especially of that age, but of any age, to question their right to be alive based on the race they were born. If that isn't racism, I don't know what is. Please, someone educate me, please. I cry for all of our kids because we need to understand what we're doing. We're fighting amongst each other. I've never been a person who voted right down the row, ever, in any election, local or federal. Never have I voted right down the line. And so this isn't a partisan thing. It's a kid thing. It's a parent thing. And I just implore all of you, I guess, to talk to your kids about what this means, because I don't ever want any of you to get a call like that from your kid that young, questioning whether or not they should live. I'm sorry I'm so emotional. I tried. I tried twice now. It's just not working. Talk to your kids. And if any of you have a plan, if any of you have advice, I will listen. Because our kids are more important than any of this. And I know we can all agree. So, again, sorry about the emotion. Thanks for listening. That's it, I guess.